Hey guys, what exciting news. The price of Bitcoin today, it just surpassed $100,000. And this is a huge milestone accomplishment for the price of Bitcoin. And today I wanted to go through all of the updates that's happening all around the world, what's driving this, especially with Donald Trump as our new leader, president of the United States. He just made some game-changing moves. He hired Paul Atkins as the SEC chairman, and that is really driving the increase in the price of Bitcoin. In fact, it hovered up to about $103,000. So most of you are wondering how high can it go? We're currently in a Bitcoin bull rally in this golden era with Donald Trump as our leader. So I think what's going to come is all of these unique sectors, specifically in the crypto stocks. We'll be covering those details, what crypto stocks that I believe have the potential to make bull runs. Let's dive deep and look at just the overall data that we see with the price of Bitcoin. So here we're looking at Bitcoin here. Current price is at 103,462 today with the news with Donald Trump announcing his election with hiring a Bitcoin friendly person who supports Bitcoin and the infrastructure. This is really what's driving up the price of Bitcoin. And most of us were wondering when the $100,000 was going to be achieved. And we anticipated that it was likely going to be beginning of December. So that's expected. But to me, I believe that there's that potential to break through that 120, 150,000 at a minimum with the price of Bitcoin right now. So I think we're going to continue seeing this heat up here with Bitcoin going up even further. But this is looking very good here, and I think we have more to come. I just wanted to share with you updates here. So today's Wednesday, and we see the surpassing in the $100,000, and this is really fueled by Trump's victory last month, and it's being fueled by seeing how his plan is rolling out, hiring the team that he wants to be in place, his administration, to provide more deregulation around cryptocurrency. And just with all of the institutional investments, even with BlackRock, you have Roth investments, you have the whole global markets even getting involved here because now it's all about game theory. Countries find this to be a hedge so that they have a strategic power advantage. The more Bitcoin you have, the more power you have. And I think with just the announcement from Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve, Bitcoin is just like gold. It's scarce. There's a limited supply, and this is what really will allow countries to hedge over one another. We know that MicroStrategy, the largest publicly available corporate holder of Bitcoin, they have close to about 400,000 Bitcoin reserve. That's about 2% of the entire reserve of Bitcoin. That's equate to $40.5 billion. So I think MicroStrategy, even though we saw that downward trajectory, the fact that Bitcoin is bull running right now, the steam may just continue, even though we saw a recent drop off with the hiccup of the price going down, especially with the short from Citron that was released. But this is very great news here. Now that we're seeing that increased demand with Bitcoin running up, I think that this is looking very good. So much sentiment going on, countries buying up Bitcoin, and just wanted to share with you an article that was just released on Bitcoin.com news. Here, Putin declares Bitcoin as unstoppable here. So even Russia is saying that Bitcoin cryptocurrency is the future of the global finance as nations move away from the declining US dollar dominance. So that's why I think the fact that countries are paving away from the US dollar as a strategy that Trump is trying to implement is let's be the powerhouse of owning all the Bitcoin. Let's try to acquire as much as possible. So that's why Trump supports these US crypto stocks similar to like MicroStrategy, Bitcoin miners in the North American region. So I think a lot of this influence will come to support the US economy through our Bitcoin mining sector. So I think that's really going to drive value in terms of the U.S. expansion and manifest destiny paradigm shift, like what Michael Saylor, the CEO, has says. that's all going to be done through Bitcoin. Now, let's just take a look at MicroStrategy's aftermarkets here. So you see in the aftermarket, the fact that Bitcoin ran up $100,000, it's up 10% overnight here. So even though we saw this drop off from like 454 down to like 438, we're kind of worried here. But I think with this huge bullish run that we're seeing, we can see that in continue increase here. So I think there's going to be a lot of inflows with buying MicroStrategy right now. So I would just continue to monitor MicroStrategy while also understanding that the stock ran up, just from a year range, close to about 800% performance. So MicroStrategy is a workhorse, leading workhorse in terms of price performance, with its share price appreciating throughout the year, but we still may see this continue going, similar to like NVIDIA's performance. Let's take a look at a Bitcoin mining company. That's Mara Holdings. So overnight, they're up 8%, getting close to about the $30 range, which they've tested previously. We see here back in like February and December. But if you zoom out, I mean, at one point, they got all the way up to $75. So I think that there's going to be that easy break through these prior resistance. Once we see 32 break off, I think we're going to start seeing Mara run very fast here. I think a lot of the catch up is going to be seen in the Bitcoin mining plays here, especially with Donald Trump supporting these North American companies. Let's take a look at another Bitcoin miner here. So you see here Riot Platforms now hovering at $14.07. You go back about a month ago, this ran up to $15.80, but we've been seeing it consolidate for the entire month, which is good because I think now it's beginning to coil up. RSI is relatively low, not overbought, but now we're beginning to see the RSI start slowly picking up. And it's nice to see that Riot Platforms is going to reach that forecast that Roth had put out just recently of price target of $20. But now even Roth may even change that price target to set it even higher just with the sentiment of Bitcoin. We zoom out, we see here at one point it reached $71. Of course, we know there's more shares out there now, so we have to factor that in. But I think overall, with the rise in Bitcoin price, I think that share price of Riot can get beyond the $20 range. I'm thinking in December, we can see that reach $20 at a minimum as a potential here. Now let's look at the next Bitcoin miner here. So Cleanspark. So out of Mara, Riot, and Cleanspark, these are the top three miners that I would say. Mara just announced their production data not too long ago. 900 Bitcoins mined, while Cleanspark mined about mid 600s, and Riot is right behind there, close to about 500 Bitcoins mined. The unique thing is that the after hours, it's not going up, but I think that CleanSpark can easily, within the next 8 days of trading, it can really test its prior resistance here. Back when November kicked in, $17. But if you go back about a year, you see this reaching $24, $23 back in March. So I think we're going to see it test itself prior resistance in the next like 8 days of trading. So I just wanted to give you my overall perspective. Be on the lookout with these companies' share price, especially with MSTR, Mara, Riot, and CleanSpark. Now, most of you are wondering, how high can Bitcoin go? I think that given that we're in this bullish market, Bitcoin's going to go beyond the 150K. And I think MicroStrategy may continue to go up. Of course, we have to factor in the risk that it's overvalued, but it still has a potential to go up. But from an undervalued perspective, I think that the undervalued circulation of money is going to flow significantly into these Bitcoin miners. So I would look at these top three Bitcoin miner plays. So I would love to hear what your comments and questions are. Is it a buy, a hold, a sell? What are your thoughts? Please leave your comments, questions down below.